Hey everybody, we're back. And this is my very close friend, Scott Lite. And he took me to the jungle for the first time in my life, and I will never, thank you.
16.
And I will never forget that, even though I've been like 7 times now. Amazing, like, jungle trip with Scott, who knows a lot about Manu jungle here in Peru. Hi, Scott.
Hey, man. Hey, everybody.
So, Scott, I'm going to ask you a couple of questions, including my most famous question. Scott, my close friend, my companion in the jungle on many trips and adventures across the beautiful country of Peru. What do you do here in Cusco, Peru?
My name's Scott Lite. He's Scott Whitman. I'm Scott Lite. We're Somos Scott Cuna, the Scots. I'm from North Carolina originally, but I've been living in Peru since 2010, at least 6 months a year. Sometimes it was 12. I try to skip the rainy season. It's very rainy. But me and my wife, Isabel, we run a company called EthnoCo, which is the Ethnobotanical Conservation Organization. And we focus on indigenous culture, adventures, tourism, expeditions. We try to offer people a bit more than just going to Machu Picchu and taking a picture of a llama, which you definitely should do if you're in Cusco.
Absolutely.
Don't miss that.
Absolutely.
But there's a lot more things to do as well.
Where do you go?
My two favorite places are the southern jungles, which a lot of people have heard of Iquitos, which is the northern jungle of Peru. But the largest, debatably, the largest, most pristine jungle on the planet is Manu National Park and the surrounding areas. So I take people to Manu National Park, where we work with the indigenous Machinga people. Been working with them since 2012. So that's the jungle, and it's only about 6 hours from Cusco. Like, you can fly to Iquitos, but a beautiful jungle is only 6 hours from Cusco. So that's one of my favorites. Maybe we'll touch more on that later. And my second favorite would be visiting what I would consider like authentic Quechua communities in the Machu River Valley, which the Sacred Valley is very famous. If you go up over this giant ridge and down into the next valley, there are some really remote indigenous communities that have preserved the Quechua culture and the Quechua way of life for centuries or millennia, and they make the most beautiful textiles, and we purchase from them fair trade prices. We sell them in US, but we also take people out there to visit them directly. So those are my 2 favorite things. We do Machu Picchu, Sacred Valley, the normal stuff as well, but those are the ones I'm really passionate about.
Great answer. I've been on those trips and they've been amazing. Okay, next question. What, as a person who has traveled extensively in Peru and somewhat in South America, having gone to far recesses of the deep, deep mountains in the Andes, what is the most important lesson you've ever learned in your entire life?
I would say the most important lesson, or the thing that I think is my mission in life, would be to do good in the world. And that's a very pretty vague answer, right? But we all need to define in our own hearts like what good is. But I think for most people in the world, that is not too hard to figure out. That would be like, taking care of our family, or if a person is cold, you give them a blanket, or if they're hungry, you give them some food. And if we want to get a little more philosophical about that, I think that translates into we should reduce suffering for all living beings as much as we possibly can. Reduce suffering for living beings. So in my particular line of work, I work with indigenous communities in the Amazon Andes, as I told you guys before. And I do good and try to reduce suffering by promoting their culture. And I do that by visiting these native communities and bringing tourists in to show them these native indigenous communities, buying artisania and textiles from them so that they're proud of their cultural practices. And we live in a capitalist market economy right now, and these people, they know about it and they want money.
Yeah.
So I think kind of driving them slightly towards something that can make money for them, but supports their culture and their cultural pride, instead of them losing their culture because they'd rather just go work in the city. I think that is my own version of doing good. Just try to do your best and just do good. And you may change your mind on what good is from time to time. So yeah, just do good.
Oh, Scott, that's a great answer. And also, how do you eat a mango?
So I eat a mango like an animal. I cut it in half.
What
and you
a shocker.
You could even use a fingernail, and you could just cut it in half, and then you rip it apart,
Uh-huh.
and then you just like stuff it in your face.
But no.
So Whitman does a mango very differently, and actually, next interview we got to do you.
Okay.
We're gonna see how Whitman eats a mango.
Okay. It's a deal.
Thanks, man.
Thank you so much, buddy, and thank you for introducing me to Manu Jungle and to the Mapacho River Valley and some of the most beautiful places I've ever seen in the world here in Peru.
Yeah, let me add, if you guys are interested at all in coming to Peru, check out my website, which is www.ethnoco.com. And we'll take you to we can take you to Machu Picchu, you can take a picture of a llama, or we can take you to some of the far remote places in Peru. Deep in the jungle, or in the Andes.
In the Andes Mountains.
And you can meet the real indigenous people. And yeah, please join us. We're here. It's nice and sunny and beautiful. Come to Cusco.
Right on. Thank you, Scott.
Yeah.